Let's solve 5 A-Level Economics MCQs together. I would highly recommend that you pause the video after reading each question, try, and then check your answer with me. Let's go. Alright, let's start with this first question. The diagram shows the cost and revenue curves for a firm. Which output level will enable a firm to achieve its objective of maximizing its revenue? Now remember, when the question says maximize revenue, don't jump to MC is equal to MR. That is profit maximization output. What we care about here is where is the revenue at its highest. Now, if you remember your curves from total revenue and marginal revenue relationship, total revenue is maximum when your marginal revenue becomes 0. So if you look at the MR curve here, this MR curve is 0 here. You follow it down. Where does it hit the x-axis? That point corresponds to output P. So even if the diagram looks complicated, you ignore everything else and just find where MR is equal to 0. So the correct answer is B. Question 2 is based on normal profit. Let's first read the question. The diagram shows the cost and revenue curves for a monopoly. Which level of output would produce only a normal profit? Now this one is a very common exam trap. Normal profit sounds complicated, but actually it just means break even. So ask yourself, when is the firm just covering its costs? That is when your price equals average cost, which is average revenue should be equal to average cost. Now let's look at the diagram carefully. Find where the AR curve touches the AC curve. That happens at output D. So the firm is not making any extra profit, not making a loss, just normal profit. So the answer is D. The third question is based on price elasticity of demand and costs. Let's first read the question. Steel producer X takes over its main competitor, steel producer Y. What would X expect to happen to the price elasticity of demand for its product and its long-run average cost as a result of this takeover? Now think about what happens when one firm takes over another. Market power increases, but competition reduces, right? So consumers will have fewer alternatives when a firm is merging. So it means that the demand will become less responsive to price. So your price elasticity of demand will fall. So it means your options C and D are not there. Only we need to consider A and B. Now the second part. When firms become bigger, it means they can produce more efficiently. Yes, bulk buying, better technology, spreading costs. Larger firms actually means economies of scale. So which means your long run average cost will also fall. So both effects are decreasing. So the answer here is A, where price elasticity of demand decrease and long run average cost also decrease. In case you want to understand economies of scale, do check out the short video, the link to which is provided here and even mentioned in the description box below. Question 4 is based on costs. Let's first read the question. The table shows how a firm's total cost changes as more workers are employed. What would be the effect of employing a third worker on the firm's average costs and its marginal costs? And this is the table given to us with number of workers and the total cost we incur. And we have to find which option out of this is correct. Now let's not rush this. I want you to calculate this and see what's happening here. Take a pen and paper and try to work this on your own. We are given total cost. So there are two ways to understand this. First, let's calculate the average cost. Average cost just means cost per unit. So here we divide total cost by the number of workers. Let's do it together. With one worker, 1200 divided by 1, which is 1200. Two workers, 2000 divided by 2, which is 1000. And with 3 workers, 2700 total cost divided by 3, which is just 900. So we can clearly notice that average cost is falling. Now let's look at the marginal cost. When we move from, we have to check the effect of employing a third worker. So when we move from 2 workers to 3 workers, total cost is increasing from 2000 to 2700. We know that marginal cost is the cost of hiring an additional worker. So in this case, the extra cost, the marginal cost of hiring the third worker is 700. 2700 minus 2000. If you check the marginal cost of hiring second worker, it is 800. 2000 minus 1200. So marginal cost is also falling. So it means the correct option is option A, where both average cost and marginal cost are decreasing. Another key relationship you must remember, that whenever marginal cost falls, it pulls the average cost down. That is exactly what you are observing here. So both methods, your calculation and theory, are telling us the same thing, that average cost is decreasing and marginal cost is also decreasing. So the correct answer is A. Now let's look at the last question. The costs and revenue of 4 firms operating in a monopolistically competitive market are shown. Which firms will continue to operate in the short run but will shut down in the long run? And this information, this table has been given to us with firms W, X, Y, Z, total variable cost, total fixed cost, and total revenue. This looks too much information. Let's not panic. It does look complicated, but we can simplify it. I want you to first separate this into 2 clear checks. First, we have to check whether the firms will continue to operate in the short run or not. In the short run, remember, firms stay if they can cover variable costs. So what we need to do here is, let's first compare total revenue with total variable cost. Let's go firm by firm. In case if we look at firms W and Z, here the total revenue is less than total variable cost in both the cases. It means they are not able to cover. But if you look at X and Y, their total variable cost for X is 40, total revenue is 80, Y, X, its total variable cost is 300, total revenue is 500. They are covering variable costs, so it means they can stay in the short run. So it means out of the 4 firms, W and Z are out of picture. We are only left with X and Y. Also, the question asks us to look if they will shut down in the long run. Now, in the long run, the firms may shut down if they are not able to cover their total cost. So we need to check if these 2 firms can cover total costs in the long run. How do we get total cost? First, we add your TVC and TFC and then check if the revenue is greater than TC. So if you look at firm X, total variable cost is 40, fixed cost is 50, it means 90. Total revenue is less than total cost. Similarly, in the case of Y also, total variable cost and total fixed cost is 600. So your total cost is 600, 300 plus 300, and your total revenue is just 500. So in the long run, these 2 firms will shut down. So the correct answer is X and Y. Key logic, remember, is short run, the firms continue if TR is greater than or equal to TVC. In the long run, they will only continue if TR is greater than total cost, sum of these 2 together or equal to or greater than that. In case you want to understand costs in detail, you must check out a detailed video, the link to which will be provided in the description box below. So, how many did you get right? Let me know in the comments section. I have full videos breaking down diagrams, past papers and exam techniques step by step on my channel. Follow me for more such videos.